IT. All right. Serve animation, and then later colors. Okay. But before this, we should try to understand some problems that we have with the grip. So in our forehand, our grip is wrong, kind of. Here it looks correct, although it's a kind of a Eastern grip or something like that. And we take back, see that. So first of all, we have this, which is problematic, very problematic. And the thing is that I don't know if the animation in Blender is also wrong. And then the biggest problem is that when we actually go and hit the ball, our racket face looks like a slice. Looks like a slice forehand. And the thing is that I really don't know first we have this thing here. Frame 0 is going back, which is not ideal. Then on the serve, so this is the new animation that hopefully we're going to put today. I think on the serve, the grip is correct. Not really, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's not correct. It's not correct at all. So we got a grip problem in both on the forehand and on the serve. Yeah, and also here the racket face is open, right? Because our grip should be totally there. So the question is it correct on the backhand? So we also have this problem with the first frame. The backhand grip looks correct at the beginning. Kind of, it's not really a backhand grip, but well, I don't remember this backhand to be so low. It really goes down. And then there's really a lot of brush up. It's missing. It's really going like forward and then like this instead of really finishing. But this one is not that bad. Definitely not that bad. Now the question is, hey, puzzone o puzzone. I'm using Vulkan. I'm using Vulkan. I was also trying to do a DirectX 12 backend, but right now it's Vulkan. Right. So how we're gonna go? So let's see if we can. Let's see if the debugger can help us a little bit. So let's see if we can do this. So my plan is wait to check and see if it's correct in Blender. As soon as Jacques is here, we will check if it is correct in Blender. But let's start by checking 1 second. Yeah, I mean, it was, I'm still not sure 100% because this kind of game is not really going to need it. So it's not going to be a game requiring any super modern tech, right? That so the possibility that eventually I will even move back to DirectX 11 is not impossible. Vulkan scares me a little bit. Obviously, what I really like about Vulkan is the fact that I can build this on Linux and have a Steam Deck native build, which probably is not even worth because Proton works so well. But even if you're in Proton, if your game is using Vulkan, your performance is going to be better, right? Because it's not going to go through any kind of translation from DirectX 11 or 12. But obviously it's more complex. It's definitely more complex. But the game is simple enough that it doesn't require me to do complex stuff, right? I don't have like a big scenario. I don't need to load stuff dynamically, right? When a match starts, I can load. It's just a tennis court with a bunch of characters. It's not really that difficult. So I don't know. I'll see. I'm a little bit scared about the drivers, right? If you see like Godot, they why the YouTube chat is disabled? Hold on 1 second, guys. I don't understand this. I don't know. I will have to sort this out. I don't know how to monitor the YouTube chat. I think they overcomplicated it a lot. Now, what I was saying is that it's interesting that in the last release in Godot, they made DirectX 12 the default on Windows. And I think that says a lot. And the reason why they did it is drivers fuck up, right? So the fact that a project like Godot decided to ditch Vulkan, give up on Vulkan on Windows, it's pretty telling that it's kind of a dangerous decision to go with Vulkan. But I'm betting on the fact that I'm not doing anything complex with this game. So we will see. Hopefully, when I start to play test it on different systems, I don't get surprises, right? So let's hope that's the case. And if I get surprises, I think it's probably obviously I don't know how complex rendering is going to be in this game, but I don't think it's going to be very complex. I think that adding a DirectX 11 renderer should be a matter of a couple of weeks of work. So it shouldn't be that hard. If I see like, okay, I really need some kind of fallback situation where if people cannot play it with Vulkan for whatever reason, just start it in DirectX 11. I like the Metal API best. I don't know because I don't have any Apple stuff apart from my phone. So I don't know. I read good things about Metal, but I don't know. I don't know how. I think one API that I like, I briefly had a look at it, is the new the GPU API that they added to SDL3. I think it's very interesting. It's built on the top of Vulkan, DirectX 12, and Metal, I think. But they didn't do they didn't do the stupid thing that web GPU is doing. So it's not that they have their own shitty language and all that stuff that I really don't like. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it was cool. I tried to quickly use it. I think I did it like in a day. You just one file in Odin is super easy to use. I think it's built in Odin, so I think you don't even have to download bindings. I think it's right in there. So pretty cool. Right, so let's try to understand what's going on here. Let's see if I can get interesting information from the debugger. So I want to see if we have keyframes with that racket movement. It's creating us a lot of headache. The other day we changed it from using a bone to using, I think in Blender they're called empty, with the modifier that says it's child of a bone. But then the problem is that when it gets exported, that information is not there. And the animation is kind of funny. So yeah, so it didn't really work well. So animation store, we have 5 animations. We have our 4 hands. We have 135 channels. We're gonna need space here. And what the problem here is that we don't have the name of the bone. Right, so this is not super friendly. So in order to do this, what we should do is go to the model, find the racket socket, and it's number 48. So we are interested in whatever channel that is attached to 48. And that's immediately the answer to our question, right? It's not there. Right. Straight away. So that's our problem. We don't have, and that's actually what I thought. I thought it's not there. It's not in the animation. Yeah, we got nothing. We got no keyframe attached to that racket, and that's why we're not seeing. So we will have to wait for Chucks to come and check the Blender, check the export, try to understand why it's not there. Meanwhile, let's move forward. Let's do this serve animation. So at the moment, we don't have any animation for the serve. So when I serve, what I do is I turn the character laterally. So let's fix that. So player level 10 is so. Let me see 1 second if I can fix this YouTube chat. Chat settings, YouTube chat. Because the problem is copy current address. I cannot change this thing. Inspect. Oh, okay. So is YouTube gonna change the chat? Hey Thomas from YouTube, what's my thought on vibe coding? I'm not really an expert. I enjoy coding, so that means that yeah, I haven't really played with it because it defeats the purpose. The purpose is that I enjoy programming. if the AI does it for me, it's not fun. I was able to. It's annoying if I have to do this thing with the chat. Hi Doug, how you doing? Every time. All right, baby. So are you on the phone? All right. So basically the animation for the racket bone is not there. Like I don't have any. Let me see if I have it on the serve. So can you try to export it again? Let me check 1 second if I have it on the serve. So we're looking again for 48. Bone index 48. No. Yeah, there is no key. No, the animation don't have any keyframe for racket socket. It was racket socket, right? The name of the bone. No, it was not racket socket. Ah, it was racket. Where is it? Is it? Ah, racket. Here it is. So it's 37. But I think it's 28. Okay, so that's all correct. So is 37? What did I say? 37. Okay, so let me check 1 second. But if you can we see it 1 second? So and then you export it again. So here we go. So time frame 0 and 1.6. And the Jax? Is it possible that is doing a linear? Is changing? Is it? No, it's not. It's not changing. Looks like it's there, but it's wrong. Is it correct in Blender, my love? UVVVV. Hello, how you doing?
What's correct?
In Blender, is it correct, the grip? It's very easy if you go a contact point on the forehand.
Forehand?
Yeah, they're all wrong.
This is it? The either?
The forehand.
Forehand?
Contact point. I can see it straight away that it's correct. Put it laterally. Yeah, it's correct. Can you export it 1 second? Why is this wrong? Why is this wrong?
You mean this is correct and yours is wrong?
Yeah. You already exported it again? Almost looked like it's rotating on the opposite side. Look at the racket at the contact point here. Looks like it's the opposite. It's not that I can go around starting flipping signs randomly. Yeah. It looks the same. Ah, no, it's fixed. It's fixed now. I think you didn't. We didn't have it, the very latest one. Okay, that's good. Let me see if the serve is also good. The serve is wrong.
The grip?
I think so. Yeah, you can see here straight away that it's wrong. I don't understand how this thing can... I mean, it's not really correct. Can you put 1 second? I mean, it's better than before, but is it very flat? The contact point on...
No.
I mean, can you put... maybe you should put the Blender file. No, it's too complex. Huh? Maybe I put a little bit of echo.
This is the contact point.
No, for the... Go at the first frame, 1 second. Yeah, the grip is wrong. Yeah, it's okay. It's not a problem. As long as I see the same thing. Go to the forehand. Maybe you rotate it a little bit. The grip. No, not the grip, I'm on the racket. Yeah. Yeah. No, the other side. Yeah. Okay. Let me see the contact point.
Yeah?
Yeah, let me see the contact point. You don't have a grip change on, or you don't have other keyframe with the grip, no?
So like this for?
Yeah. Yeah. And forehand. Baby. Cannot do this.
Keep going. Left in?
It looks okay. Go contact point, 1 second. Stop there, lateral. Go lateral. On the other side. So I have the same image, same as here, look. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. But if you have keyframes, you should delete it. You should only have the first one. All right, can you export it again? So luckily there was no panic. So serve, much better grip. Damn, look at that, so beautiful. Perfect. Nice. Forehand. It's is it doing this in yours? And it looks like there is a pause in the preparation. And no, the racket is completely wrong. Something is happening. Something is happening. Something is happening. This is completely wrong now. Is it possible that instead of the bone, you are rotating the racket itself? Instead of rotating the racket bone, you are rotating the racket objects? Because now the forehand is broken.
No. I'm rotating the bone. Oh wait. The forehand, it doesn't have a frame.
Right.
Like at the beginning, so we have to put
Yeah.
from here. No. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go contact point, so we check.
Like that.
Go the preparation. Can you get rid of the pose? Can you get rid of that? Okay, let me see the contact point. Set the contact point. Yeah, that's good. Okay, export it. You did? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Serves still good. Yeah, looks good. All right. Okay. All right. Let's put this serve in. So player animations, serve, stroke animation. Stroke animation right now, we have this swing timestamp that we don't need anymore. Now, so let me get rid of it. Okay. So serve animation. Animation is serve. And prep timestamp. Prep timestamp is, you know, I don't have the, now I don't have the pose anymore, no? We will have to, I can choose it. I can choose it by eye, but yeah, let's say there is this one for now. 355. Since we're here, we change the forehand, so let me also grab that one. I would say 803. But we will need a better system for this one. Okay, and the backhand. Five, 7, 8. 5, 7, 8. Okay. Does it make sense? Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right, serve. So the player, there should be a lot of cut and paste, I think. So pretty much the same thing that we're doing here. So this. One thing is that I don't know if we are accumulating time for the serve, but that shouldn't be a big problem. Animation. That's pretty much it. Okay. So the only question is, are we accumulating on the serve? Yes. No. But we should. Right. So okay. All right. So in theory, if it works, once I press to serve, she should get into the trophy position. Yes. Look at that. That was much easier than I thought. Okay. And then for the swing, we basically copy the code, right? So where is the serve? So that's the serve. So we're going to copy the code. Serve. 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 Okay. Should work. Yep. Okay. So the next thing to see is checking the contact point. So I do a couple of serves so we can check the replay. Okay, replay. It's already working. Probably this is now a super slow motion. It's good because, okay. Right. So I think maybe the next one is gonna be better. I really should put something to change the speed. Come on. Serve. Come on. There you go. Yeah. So the thing is that the contact point is way more in the future, right? So it all comes down to, let me get rid of this thing. Okay, we have a couple of things to fix. I don't think I'm gonna fix them now, but because we still don't have a the game thinks that we're gonna hit the ball 50 milliseconds, around 50 milliseconds after we release the button. Obviously, the animation doesn't agree with that. So we have two possible ways to go about this. And actually, probably I'm going to explore this idea. But I need to do a couple of stuff before we do this. So shot trigger time. Right, so if we increase this, now we are increasing the distance. So I have to anticipate the shot way more. Interesting that the AI immediately got it wrong. Definitely looks more like I'm hitting the ball. The AI is struggling with the timing. The AI is really struggling. The AI is struggling in a crazy way. Let me see if this timing is better. it's still completely triggering the... All right, so for now, this is not good. What are we going to do about this? LERP simulation state players. Okay, so we need to LERP this shot here. So shot, it's gonna be status is gonna be P0 shot status. I wonder if I can just do this and then LERP the stuff that I need to LERP. Because what we want to LERP is the accumulator. P1 shot accumulator and the time. P shot time, which probably I don't even need these two variables. They can probably be and this should, because right now the animation was really choppy. So in theory the animation should now be smoother. Come on. Come on. Okay, yeah, now the animation is smoother. See that we trigger the thing way earlier. Oh, interesting crash. What happened here? Ray bounce checked. Temperature is -2. What's going on here? Time. -2. How can we get to -2? How can we get to -2? F0 is -2. How? Ah. This returns -1. But you shouldn't. You should probably return 0. Does it make sense? 5 timing index. Yeah. Right. Right. Okay, so So one way that we could do this thing could be to have in the stroke animation, we might have a hit point timestamp. And the way that we will go about this, the thing that is going to make this really weird let me do real quick something to be able to accelerate and slow down the replay. Key button input manager replay slow mo, right? And we put it on char minus. Okay, so our replay system play speed float is 1. Okay, then update replay if clicked input manager replay slow mo. Okay, if our play speed is 1, play speed is 0.1, play speed 1, and here 0.1 is too low, huh? Our play speed. Okay, so now I should be able to change the replay. Replay, yeah, so it goes here. Let's see it on the side. Okay, and it was minus, so very nice. I can slow it down. Okay, good. So now that we have this power, we can actually check out what we want to do. So what we want is an actual timestamp for the hit. So let's see if this could work. So let's say that our hit point is right about there. Right? So 0.805. Create player. So serve our hit point timestamp is 0. This one. Okay, so what are we going to do now? When we swing the serve, we're going to say if player state shot time is less than the hit what was it? Shot trigger time. Okay. 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 So basically what we're saying is okay. So if we are less than trigger time, we go from prep timestamp to animation hit points timestamp. Hit points timestamp. And T is going to be shot time divided by shot trigger time. Right? And we put it at T. Okay. If we are above that, we go from hit point timestamp to the end of animation. And our T is 1 minus no, is what? Shot is shot time minus shot trigger time divided by 1 minus shot trigger time. Am I doing something stupid here? Maybe, or maybe not. The thing that I'm scared is that we're really going to see a big slowdown after the contact point. Anyway, let's have a look. I have no idea if that formula is wrong. Looks much better. Okay. So one, for sure we're hitting the okay, let me try to get it at the right height. Let's see. Okay. Try another one. I was a little bit late. Okay, so let's see. This is the height, right? So it's definitely too high, right? So that height is wrong. So this is the hit pot serve. It's too high. Let's go down to that. And try again. right? I missed it. Should do a rewind. Okay, so that's where we're hitting. Kind of okay. Maybe a little bit too low. The thing that I really don't like is the fact that it goes so fast. Shot trigger time. Yeah. She's right there working on it. So she's the one that did all the animation and things. Let's see how it looks. So if I slow this thing down. Shot trigger time. What is this thing? Ah, hold on. That's why the eye was confused, because we had the trigger time. Okay. Okay, so all right. Shot trigger time. Shot trigger time. That's why it got confused, the eye. All right. So this should give us a little bit more space. Yeah, that was super late. Okay. That's super weird. Okay. Right. So is that UI giving me a false information? Update tennis level. Is that UI giving me fake news? Yeah. All right. Okay. So we need to swing time. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. So that's the swing time. And then we predict the height of the ball, which is going to be predicted y is going to be bang, bang. Okay. And then we work on that. And then we work on that. Right. Okay. So now the UI, the red bar that tells me when I should hit the ball should be more correct. Oh, it's gone completely. Okay, interesting. I think this should be always true when we are in serve. Okay, that's better. The AI is still making huge mistakes. Okay, that's better, 97%. So let's have a look where I'm actually hitting the ball. Slow. Yeah, okay. So that's the first one. %, all right. That's the second one. Okay. And it kind of looks, it doesn't look like it's slowing down because, yeah, I was afraid that it will slow down after the contact, but it looks all right. Okay. Looks kind of okay. Okay. Yeah. That means that basically we have to do the same also for the forehand and the backhand. So every shot will have the hit point timestamp, which I think it makes sense. Animation, forehand, stop. So here our hit is kind of here. 0872. Maybe you're doing the thing, Mala. Yeah. So forehand hit point timestamp is 0.872. That's what I said. Yeah. And the backhand is about there as well. The backhand, I didn't know that we put it really low. It was really like, looks like super low ball. We miss it. It's she's brushing up too quickly. Is missing I think a frame with a racket in front. You see what I mean? It goes like this. Look, it goes like, yeah. I mean, no. If you can do the court first, so I can move on. I missed the so stamp. Oi.
You want to separate this one?
Boom. This looks like a contact point to me. 899. Yes. Yes. 899. And put a white texture. And two separate materials, no? So we can load the editor and change the color of the court.
This outside.
Yeah.
And this is the part. This is separate.
Yeah. Cool. Right. So now we have the same thing on this. It means that we can go to the update player. Hey, Leonardo. Leonardo. Come stai? How are you? What time is over there? I think we are very far when time zone right now. I'm in Australia now, so it's a long way. So basically we have to do this thing for the thing that we did for the serve. We also do it here. Yeah, we are basically almost exactly 12 hours apart. It's 10 10:35 here. 10:35, sweetie. I feel it's like 2 in the afternoon. We woke up very early this morning, so I feel it's already nap time. Okay, so here's forehand. So all the serve we change with forehand. Okay, obviously, once this starts to become a clear pattern, we can make some kind of function that does this thing. For now, we are exploring the. This is obviously, look at this, is like repeated code over and over. So this is obviously a function. And we go with backhand. And I change all of them. Looks like. Okay. Yeah, it's all super new. Like literally, we started this game 2 weeks ago, I think. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So it's like very, very, very early steps. It's gonna be a long way. It's gonna be a long way. Okay, so the other question is, why is the AI struggling so much? So that's gonna be our next thing. And let's start straight away. AI controls. What's the problem here? So we are interested in when the AI decides to swing. And the swing time. So we got this time. So let's do this. Let's remove completely any kind of error. So predicted Z. Is this the okay? Okay. You currently have tried. No, nobody asked this, and the answer is no. I don't like to be. I watched some videos on YouTube. So the question is if I tried other tennis games. The answer is no. I don't want to be influenced by other games. So yeah, I haven't played at all. So yeah, I want to go with a completely fresh. So now the question is, let's see how the AI is doing. 99%. So that was good. 98%. Okay, let's get the AI to play by itself. I think probably the serve is still going to be wrong. Yes. Okay, let me fix. Let me fix the serve for the AI. What is it? AI serve? AI serve. Okay. So we're working on this one. So we need to, as usual, we need to the usual thing, right? So swing time is going to be come on, just the code that we did on the other side. Where is it? Swing time is this. AI serve. Right, so swing time is this. Then we predict the Y. Okay. And then if the ball is going down and the ball predictor pos is less than this guy, we go. Right? You done? Ah, that's cool. All right, let's see. Let's see if the AI can serve. And in theory, we should get the AI always hitting at okay, 0%. What's going on here? Okay, why it's so wrong? Predicted why this is wrong is if the ball velocity is less than 0, not the predicted y. Okay, let's try again. Let's go. Come on. Stamp. 92%. Still not great. 98%. 99. 98. 98. Wow, what a shot. 99. This is basically, right now, we have the AI as good as it could be. One thing that is interesting is that the serve is wrong. And I think the reason why this could be wrong is because in our prediction for where the ball is, we are not taking into consideration the gravity acceleration. So I have a feeling that we're always a little bit late. That's why it's constantly into this 92%. Let's see if my prediction is correct. So it's going to be at ball position y plus the velocity plus, or I should say minus gravity multiplied by swing time multiplied by swing time multiplied by 0.5. Let's see. Let's see if this is more correct, if we can improve from 92. 99%. Oh my God, I'm a physics genius. Boom, 99%. Perfect. Oh, I like, you hear when they hit it wrong, you're like, ah. Did you hear? When they hit it really wrong and late, they go like, ah, that was bad. %. Is that? See, in this case, it was a 99% time shot, but she still missed. So this is something that I will have to work on. But, you know, there will be time to adjust these things. Basically, what I want to do is that if you can really nail it at 99%, you should never miss it. It should never be a miss. Like the game should never, unless, you know, if you notice, the target gets smaller, right? You get more precise the more time you prepare. Right? So if you can get to the ball earlier, the more you prepare, the closer you're gonna be to the target. And obviously, if you try a big shot without really preparing, like without really preparing, it means you are on the run. So imagine, you know, you're attempting a passing shot on the run, and you go like, okay, I want to hit it as hard as possible. I think even if you hit it at 99 accuracy, you can still make a mistake because it's a difficult shot, and it's also in real tennis, you know, you can miss it, you know, otherwise players will be always hitting the corners, right? So obviously they will always go for corners and things like that. So but this needs like a very deep debug system. So basically I need to be able to watch the replay and go through point, see, okay, what was the target, what was the timing, you know, where the ball could have landed. Now we can already see that there are two. You see that there is a magenta target and a black target. So the magenta target is where the player was actually aiming, and the black is where the ball is actually going. And so even now that the AI is hitting 99%, is not going exactly there. Right? There is a range. All right, this is okay. Let me see 1 second replay, and I want to see 1 second how it looks like the contact point for the forehand. Wow, this is so cool. Look at this. Now the contact point is exactly correct. Look where the ball is coming. It's super slow motion, so we can see. Boom. It's really so cool. And I think what I want to do eventually, I want to see if I can do some kind of inverse kinematics, where you see now, obviously, like, you know, the racket is always doing the same animation. It's not really hitting the ball. Now, we don't want to hurt ourselves by showing this, obviously. I wonder if I can do some kind of inverse kinematics where we can we adjust the wrist to actually hit the ball. On the serve, we are a little bit late, no? Ooh. It was very late. All right, this is all nice and cool. So right now, we have something interesting. So let me. Okay, so what we did was serve, animation, animation, hit point, timestamp. All right. So what we got now is the ability to change this court color, I think. Nope. Did you put it in sorry. P2A content courts is going there? Okay. I don't know, I feel like it's 26 degrees. That's very humid, 65. The sounds are good. Thank you. It's like the first sounds that I found. You play tennis, Leonardo. Do I remember that you have a? Was it you that had like an avatar with a tennis picture? Maybe it was not you. Materials. Nope. No, baby. P2A.
Yeah, I mean it's still updating.
Whoa. How is that possible? Content quartz? How big is the file?
1000 kilobyte.
Dropbox. Dropbox doesn't want to work. More paddle than tennis. Paddle like paddle? Or some other beach paddle. I really have like this microphone right in my face. Look at that. It's not that people are missing a lot. They don't see my face, but it's not. I need to change it. It's not the good. It's not the good. Can I put it more on top? Right in my face. Look at the microphone. It's not like in my face. I need to put it here. Paddle, yeah. Actually, that's how I restarted to play. I went to play with Chucks. We went to play paddle, and then I was like, oh no, fuck this shit. I need to play the real thing. Maybe you want to restart the computer, Mela, because it's not doing it. Maybe restart your computer 1 second. I'm gonna switch this microphone 1 second. I mute 1 second. All right, test. We're back. It's worse because it's my face. Actually, you know what? I have a feeling that the other one that I bought is better than this. Yeah, because this is. I mean, it looks very professional, but it's too big. All right, is Dropbox going to? You sure you did it? Yes, because he was doing the thing, no? The I wonder how complex would it be to make a paddle game. I think there is one. I think I saw I saw a game about paddle. I don't know how good it is. Yeah. They also have a paddle. Because I imagine once you have the virtual reality. Heroes of Paddle, 10 years ago. Arriva al videogame del paddle, 1 year ago. Paddle video game coming soon. This is the VR version. Which is really cool. We tried, it's there? We tried some tennis VR. It works really well. It was cool, no? With the what is called the meta thing that we bought? I forgot. Meta Quest. Is paddle, but it's 1 against 1. Heroes of Paddle is 10 years ago. Argentina tour. Is it very popular in South America, paddle? Europe is absolutely exploding. In the Netherlands, oh my God. You know, I saw like a tennis club that I went there after some months, and they converted 4 tennis courts to paddle. And they were always packed, always packed. This looks like the old one. Premier Paddle 2025. Doesn't show anything, this guy. Chile, Argentina especially. Now it started again in Uruguay with these new courts. It's much, much easier than tennis. That's the thing. And it's doubled, it's more social. And it's much, much easier. You were saying that everybody's tennis is tennis paddle. They also have paddle? Pure paddle. No, that's nothing to do with everybody's tennis. Nope. Nope. Okay, that was only tennis, all right. Yeah, I wonder how difficult will be. The eye for sure is the eye is more tricky because you have more options, right? The eye will have to decide if they want to hit the ball after the wall or before the wall. But, you know, it's just more option to the eyes and it shouldn't be that difficult. I wonder if it is too fast. I think the smashes are too fast. There are 2 games in Steam, Paddle Rivals and Slice Shot Paddle. Paddle Rivals gameplay. Let's have a look. 6 days ago. It's new. Paddle Rivals. Paddle Rivals 3. Yeah, they slow down. You can see straight away, right? They had to slow down the gameplay a lot. Super slow. The ball is huge. I know. I've been there. You know, when I started to do this game, I couldn't see the ball. Before, now, if you notice, now we have a little bit of blur on the ball. What is the other one? Slice Shot Paddle, but only pictures. Okay, so it's not. Slice Shot Paddle. There is no gameplay. Yeah, there is no gameplay. So if you notice now, I think our ball is the correct size. Let me double check, because I used to have something to make the ball bigger. Let me check. Yeah, I'm still making, so the ball is 20% bigger. You know, let me see what happens if I put the ball realistically. Now that I have the blur is showing a little bit more, and oh, okay, hold on. We got the new court. We need to. It's so bright.
You should have it well.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I have to do something that, you see, like in the editor, the ambient light is completely white. Look what happens if I start the game. The ambient light is taking the sky, so if we get this blue. So let me fix this court 1 second real quick, and then I'm gonna do that in the editor so we don't get tripped. All right, so in theory now we have Davey. What is this names? Court _ court 1. Can you give it? Yeah, court inside, court outside, and maybe line. You also want to do lines? If you have a material for the line, all uppercase. Are any good learning material for Jai already available somewhere? Yes, there are. There are 2 very good. Let me give it to you. If I can find it. Where is it? Okay, so this one, let me put it in the chat. Right, let me put it also on this. What else are you? I'm streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. And I'm also talking to my wife, but probably it's people on the chat on Twitch. So this, the Way to Jai, this is a book that is currently being written. And the author of the book is actually really, really good. I remember buying his book about Go back in the days when I when I was starting Assetto Corsa, and Assetto Corsa server for the multiplayer is written in Go, and he wrote a book on Go that was really, really good. So I would say that that's really, really. Yeah, have you tried already to write to John to ask you to get into the beta? You the way I did it, you send email to language.tecla.com, I imagine, and just put, just put whatever your experience, what you're planning to do. We got it. Materials. All right. So court outside. Okay. So now we have the ability to change the color of the court. Right. So what I want to do is something like this. Then court inside. Oh, so cute. Cute. These are the colors that I was telling you. That could be the theme for the in general, no? Maybe this purple can be a little bit more pinkish or something like that. Yeah. Currently still learning Rust, but looking forward to Jai. Yeah, I mean, do learn Rust, because the thing that you learn in Rust are incredibly important, and they really apply to every language that you use. Rust teaches a lot of very good lessons, but obviously they are as far as they can be from each other. Jai and Rust, very, very different approach. Right, so now we should have, okay, so we can see, so our court now is much darker, and we see the thing. Things change so much. So now we have a ball that is correct size, and I think if we play from here, because the point is that originally the game was played from here, and I'm still not sure. I'm not sure, because the point is that it's much easier to play from here. Oof, she's killing me. Completely killing me. But the point is that, with the motion blur that we have on the ball, that effect, even if the ball now is got realistic size, I can still see it. Maybe because I'm wearing glasses today. I can see it, but I cannot hit it. Come on, man. Because I changed the timing for the balls. Oof, 38%. That was really bad. Okay, let's go back. So this is the other option. the nice thing, so the point is that if we are lower like this, obviously we can appreciate much more the height of the trajectory of the ball. If we are like this, we have a much better perception of the depth. And because at the end of the day, the depth is the main element that decides if our shots is good or not, like our timing when we hit the ball. This gives a much better bet. So I find that getting used to this will it looks like the best place to play. And then there is the new one, which is this one, which will put a lot of pressure on tracks to have character that look, more detailed, but it's interesting. One thing that I like about this is if you play at the net, it's really cool. Right now we don't have an animation for the volleys. The eye double fault with I changed the timing and I'm always super late. I feel like I have to hit the ball super early. It's gonna take me ages to get used to it. Yeah, that's very late. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like. So okay, let me. They are two different in the editor. So what kind of hits you could so far serve back and forehand? I have a kind of volleys, but I don't have the animation, and it's all top spin. I mean, the ground stroke have top spin. The volley have backspin. Let me fix 1 second this ambient light. So this is the clear color. Let's do it exactly the same in the editor. Otherwise, we're gonna go crazy here. That's all we need. Let's see. Let me run it 1 second just to prove that. Maybe. Interesting because now the airs almost look like green. All right, so let's do install. I also tried the completely first-person camera, but it's very cool, but it's very difficult to understand the lateral distance from the ball. So it doesn't really work. All right, so the difference is probably in the sun. So the sun is, all right, pretty bright, the thing. Let's try like this. Grande! Anche tu? No. No, Motor. Sono in Australia, quindi per me è mattina. Still, I don't get it. It's completely different. For sure the sun is lower here. Oh, yeah. I don't... The first point, the eye is not in the right position. Okay, let's fix that. Why the first point, the eye is not in the right position? Start... point start? Start point? Why it doesn't show it to me? Yes, because it's in this other one, idiot. Start point. Start point. Blah, blah, blah. Match. Get server side. Put the position. Shot counter. Okay, so why is not happening? Are we calling start point at the beginning? Blah, 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 blah. Switching, blah, 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 blah. Are we calling start point? Start. No, we're not calling start point. Maybe that's why. Debug. Start point. Okay, we're not calling start point at the beginning of the game. We are, because we used to call it here, but now we have to call it here. So we start the thread, simulation run, and I think before we get in, we do start point. And this should put the eye, yeah, perfect. Okay, so now the eye is in the right place. The timing is so difficult. First of all, I cannot see the ball. That's one of the problems of this camera. I cannot see the ball in the air. What I'm seeing is that I see a lot the slowdown that I was talking about. So it's going to hit the ball and then it's stopping the... It looks really strange, the forehand. Ah, why you went for the forehand? Can we make a point? Right now, I mean, the eye never make mistakes, so it's gonna be very hard to play with. This one, we should be able to attack it. Can we make a point? Yeah, double fault. Oof, mistake. See, that was surprising that the eye made a mistake there. 98% and they made a mistake. Let's try this one 1 second. this one is not bad. With the serve, I have a decent intuition on the timing. All right. Yeah, terrible. Four zero. Come on, let's make a game. One game. Super late. I mean, this looks like a very decent angle to play, honestly. Out. Serve and volley. We make a game. Come on, man. There are too many mistakes, especially on the net. It's like I really need to understand why. Let's go for it. Oh, come on. I really need to fix that. Ah. Out. Come on, we stay in the game. 3-2. Come on. Cannot return. Eh? Out, out. Come on, come on. She's completely killing me. Oof. Yes. Oh. Ooh. Almost out. This is out. Hey, Gary. Welcome. And it's a good sign that even at this stage, I don't mind. It's pretty fun to play, to be honest. You know, even it's a little bit too hard, but you know. Whoa! Where are we? Juice. Out, out. See, 97% DI, and she went for the shot. She went hard. I should write down, actually. Let me finish this, and then I want to write what kind of shot. Eh. Come on, come on. Yes, vamos. Let's go. We're staying attached. 4-3. Come on. There's only one break. Let's resist here. Bug. Good. I'll take the bug. Oh, look at that. Oh, shit, got it. Yes. Come on. Love 30. She's just killing me. Hey! Attack, attack. 5-3. Okay. I'm just shooting bombs, but they're all going out. And that's it, 6-3. All right, so let's write down what kind of a shot was playing. Grazie Motor Nerd, grazie. Il tuo nickname dice tutto sui tuoi gusti. This was done in the HUD, right? So we need to actually do the entire dance in it. HUD. Ciao Leonardo. I'm gonna go soon anyway. See you next time. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do gonna do a label shot. Right, and label shot. No, e basta simulatori di guida. L'ho fatto. L'ho fatto un simulatore di guida. Alexandre. Ta 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 ta. Okay. And then down here we pick him up. Add label shot. And find widget. Add form label shot. So we should see it here saying that's very big. Well, it's okay. It's all right. I think it's too big. We need to put the other font. Do we have a medium font? Medium font. Let's go. All right. That's probably too small, but leave it that. Okay. And what we're going to do with this is I think we have to add it to the shot feedback. So right now shot feedback is telling us error, power mode timing, we should also get, you know, shot type or something like that. Shot type, but shot type is gonna tell us serve, ground, volley. No, what we need is really shot power or something. How did I call that? Shot power level. Right, that's what we want. Right, so in the thing, that's what we want to print. So add label shot, label text is I think Jai should be able to give it to me. Tennis ball, shot player, shot feedback, shot power. I think it should be able to do that. Although, you know, eventually we'll go, how can I get access to Jai? Try to send an email to language@tekla.com or .net. Find the Tekla website. Send an email at language. That one. Introduce yourself, you know, treat it almost like you want a job or something, and say what you want to do with the language and so on. And hopefully next time John expands the team, you will be here. Yeah, have a good reason. Yeah, at the end of the day, you want to really, you know, obviously John would like to have people that write as much code as possible, right, to catch more stuff. Right, we're not done, because when it comes to the feedback, we need to add this feedback, right? So feedback error. So for example, here's where we are adding this thing, and shot power is player shot player. Where are we? Tennis sim. Step player. Hold on. Is this getting confused? Sim player. State, I think. Shot power. Okay. Ben Chilling, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome. I don't know if I have to do anything else. Let's see. Let's see if we see the name of the shot. So we should see like safe or power. So depending what I'm choosing, if I'm going safe, so this should be safe. Okay, safe. Maybe it's too small. Let me make this bigger. It worked, so that's good news. So right now our medium font, so right now big font is 148, which is maybe a little bit too big, right? And this is probably too small. Where are we using this? For the shot, for the names of the players, so I shouldn't change it. Hold on. So let me put it back to this. Probably medium is not really medium. Let's make this one kind of smaller, right? And then put a big font on that shot. And then we're going to put colors. So I'm going to put like green when it's safe and red when it's okay, but it's a little big, right? It's still a little big, right? Let's it's all right. It's all debug stuff, so literally who cares, right? So let's just put it 20 pixels more on the side and whatever the fuck. It's all debug. We really don't care. Right, let's go down to 96, whatever. What made why I chose Jai? I don't know. I come from, my last game was in Rust. I spent the last couple of years keeping my two code base kind of in line. They can actually do almost the same thing. I don't know. I think it's for a project of this size. I think Rust is a little bit more agile. But honestly, it's not a clear win. I could have used both. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's just that I have a feeling now of how it is to use Rust to make a game, and I want to try to do a complete game in Jai and see how. You know, at the end of the day, you can play with language, but until you actually try to do something, you never know. Like, for example, you know, in Rust, I've got something like this, right? So like, it's like this game, you know, with boxes, and let's see if it still works. Probably doesn't work anymore. Let's see, let's try. First of all, it takes much longer to compile, but this is only the first time. I think it's just checking online for dependencies and so on. Yeah, so this is the same thing that we were having in Rust. So same concept. I cannot hit the ball here. It's like, yeah. So it's like, yeah. Pretty much the same. The thing is that Rust forces you to be way more structure. It puts a lot of structure in your code. And yes, in some things, in many things, it means write more code. But the feeling you get from Rust is that things have more structure, right? And I also find that in a way, somehow it's easier to come back to a project in Rust because, well, first of all, the tooling is much better, right? All the completion and all the LSP, obviously the Rust version, the Rust LSP is fantastic. So, you know, all those things help a lot. And because of the way the language it is, it's like, it's very unlikely that you go and you write some bullshit in Rust. Jai is completely the opposite, right? Jai can have literally no structure. So it's much looser. It's a much looser language. Like, you know, you can throw stuff together much faster. But you don't get the feeling that you get in Rust that what you have is very solid. It's always this feeling that you need to test it. You make sure that it works. You can have a lot of crashes, surprising crashes, and so on. What kind of structure? Well, for example, you know, even starting from something like super simple, like for example, in Jai, you can have global variables, right? So I'm making a tennis game and I have this tennis global structure that has like, you know, a bunch of players, the court, the ball, and this is a global. I can see it from everywhere in the code, right? So it makes stuff very convenient. Doing this thing in Rust is theoretically is possible. Like for example, I did something like this for my renderer. Like, you know, when I have my Vulkan stuff, I did it with a kind of global variable that I'm accessing, you know, in an unsafe way in Rust. But you're really working against the language, because in a language like Rust, you know, you wouldn't have that. So for example, update player, at a certain point, let's say that inside your update player, you want to see the ball, you have to pass the ball in. You want to know the property of the court, you have to pass the court in, right? You won't be able to see it globally. So it's like, everything is more organized and it's more robust. But it also means that when you design code in Rust, you need to have a very good idea already of what you're doing. And the nice thing about Jai is that you can use shortcuts while you're understanding what you're doing. I think Jonathan Blue talks a lot about this. Like, I think Rust is a very good language when you have a very clear specification of what you want to do, what you're trying to do. Right? That's why people say, "Oh, I rewrote this thing in Rust and it's much better." Yeah, of course it's much better, because you rewrote something, so you already have a very clear idea of what you're doing. Now, it's very true that when you're working on games, you don't really know what you're doing. You kind of have a general direction, like, okay, I'm going into that direction, but you don't know. At least, you know, the way I make games, the way that I enjoy make games, because the alternative is that you sit down and you try to work out, you know, brainstorm or whatever, what you're going to have in a game. But it's not the way I like to work, right? I like to work like, okay, what I'm in the mood for. I'm in the mood for, okay, I want to see this thing on the screen. Let's put it. All right, let's do this, let's do that. So it's more like a natural flow, if you want, right? That's why also I don't enjoy working in big teams, because obviously this approach really doesn't work if you are in a big team, right? So yeah, so definitely Rust is much stronger. I don't know, I can give you like very obvious things. Like, for example, if you see something like how the code for do I have a code for a shot here? Let me see. Yeah, so for example, here I have this idea in Rust for the shot, right? And it says, okay, so your shot can be no shot, or you can be in a prepare phase, or you can be in a swing phase, right? And so it's forcing, it's very structured. It's like, okay, so I can only see this shot type and which side of the shot if you are in prepare. And I can only see the time if you are in swing. And this structure that you created, Rust is going to enforce it, right? There is no way that if my shot is none, there is no way for me to ever get to this variable, right? So for example, So if I want to do something, I will have to do something like this, like, okay, so I start to do this shortcut, right? It's like, okay, tell me which side the shot is. And it's like, okay, but if I call it with none, this is a panic. Like if I don't have any shot, I don't have any side. And so you have to start to write all this kind of code that it's correct, right? But it's very bureaucratic. You see what I mean? I come in and it's like, all right, okay, so I am in this, and now, you know, I can do this. Now here I can see shot side and so on. Now, if you compare it to Jai, now, Jai, this is pretty much the same thing, but you can see everything. And it's down to you as a programmer to say, actually, if my shot status is none, then all these things don't make any sense, right? So I really shouldn't. If my shot is none and I start to do something with something else, one of these, I'm doing something that doesn't make any sense, right? But it's down to you, to the programmer, to. So you have to know this, right? There is no way in a language like Jai to force you to have that kind of. The language is not telling you that. So there is a lot of knowledge that is not in the language, right? While in Rust, the nice thing is that you can code a lot of invariants in your code, right, are in the code. So you make it impossible for another programmer to misunderstand how to use it. If you see what I mean. I hope I'm making any sense, right? So I think it's really something that works really well in teams, right? Well, you can see what you can do with the type, and you go like, okay, this is what I can do for a type. In Jai, if I was working with a team, I will have to read the code. Right? The language is not giving me any idea of how to use something. Like, for example, in Jai, you don't even have methods, right? So you cannot do like shot dot, what can I do with this thing, right? That you cannot do that. So you must know that somewhere in the code there is. So I have something like, a sim player, right? Okay, this represents a player in the simulation code, right? And you go like, okay, what can I do with this sim player? If you went in Rust, you would do like player dot, and it will tell you what you can do. The variables, so the data, also in Rust, you will be able to say, okay, you can see this variable inside this module, but you cannot see it outside, or you can never see it, blah, blah, blah. You can control a lot of how people use your code, right? The code that you wrote. In Jai, no, it's like, whatever. This is all public. So everything is public. Anybody can come in here and completely break any kind of invariance inside here, and you will never know, right? So if you're working in a team, it can be a pretty scary situation. So it's like, you need to work with a team of good programmers that spend a lot of time reading and understanding the code that they are modifying, right? So it's really like a double-edged sword, right? In Rust, you can be very defensive. Right. In Rust, you can code the rules. The logical rules can be coded into the code, right? Can express what the logic of something is, right? But it's also very bureaucratic, right? Because obviously, the moment you have to deal with it, and especially if you change your mind in Rust, then it becomes a huge refactor, right? And it's not, it can be like huge, like, you can realize at a certain point, and now I'm in a phase where I don't have a lot of code. So if I change my mind about something, it doesn't matter which language I am. But, in Rust, you can very easily be in a situation where you are completely cornered into a situation that you cannot deal with, and you need to redesign completely, big parts of your project. So I think Ada Spark might be better than Rust if you know what you want precisely, because you can specify the range of your values. Yeah, I never used it, but yeah, I think it goes even, it puts the attention on different things. So it puts a lot of attention goes into validate the data when it comes to Ada. Writing down the invariants is really important. I think John writes comments from things like that. Yeah. But you have to read them. Yeah. And you have to read the so the point is that you really, and I don't have an answer for this, because at the end of the day, my idea on this is that the project you work on has a complexity. And that complexity is not going away. So if you're doing something that is complex, choosing something like Rust or something like Jai is just moving a little bit where your pain point is going to be. So Rust is moving your pain point more at the beginning of a project, or, before you get something to run. So you spend more time without a program running. Something like Jai moves the pain point to, okay, the program is running, but then it's crashing, and I don't know why it's crashing, right? And I have to go there and I have to figure out why it's crashing. I have to attach the debugger, where it's crashing, why it's crashing, and what happened, right? And the more your program is complex, the more this becomes complex. But if your program is complex, then it's complex to write it down in the first place in in Rust. So it's always going to be complex. So it's not really changing a lot, I think. It's just when you want to feel the pain. Do you want to feel the pain while you're writing the code, or do you want to feel the pain when you're debugging? All right. In my case, as I said, it looks to me like if it is one programmer, it's much easier to write in Jai, because you wrote all the code, so you kind of know all the invariants. Although the more the program grows and gets bigger, the more there is a chance that you cannot follow it anymore, or you forget. Do you think it will be possible to have a program that analyzes your code somewhat like a compiler, and it will do what Rust does, but without having to write annotations for it? Up to a point, because the moment you have a pointer to something else, I mean, if you want to track things like honestly, I don't know. I don't like to talk about. I don't like to talk about things that I really don't know. So I don't really know much about compilers. So I don't know. The real answer is that I don't know. It's obviously what the borrow checker does, but you can imagine that the moment you have a reference or a pointer to something else, you need to have an indication of the lifetime of that thing. Otherwise, you cannot. I don't think you will be able to track it, but I really don't know. You need to encode intention in some way for the compiler to know how to do. Yeah. Sure, Abu, you're well. This project has been enjoyable so far. Well, I mean, I'm 2 weeks in. It's like is the best time for any game projects, right? It's like you have everything is easy because you don't have to deal with decisions, right? I mean, you have to take decisions, but you don't have to deal with them. Once you start to be like 1-2 years into a project, you have to deal with all the decisions you took 2 years before, and maybe they were a little bit wrong, and now you have to deal with them. So now, I don't have a lot of code. At the end of the day, how much code I have for the tennis? I have 1,500 lines in here, and 3,000 lines of code for the game. Obviously, then there is the engine and so on. So it's definitely the enjoyable part of the game where you are exploring. I'm excited. I'm trying. The thing with this game is that I still don't know what game it is. I don't know what game it is. I don't know what it's going to be. Obviously, it's a tennis game, but I don't know what kind of game it is, because I know that I don't want to do a super serious simulation, with the real players, and I don't want to do that. But first of all, we cannot do that. I spoke about this already. It's like, I think if a team of two, like me and my wife, if we try to do the realistic thing, even if we use Unreal, it's gonna look stupid, right? We're never going to be able to do Alcaraz without the model and the animation look absolutely terrible, right? So there is absolutely no point in doing that if you're not a AAA company and you can put a lot of money to actually do animations and the modeling and so on. So I'm sure I don't want to do that. I would like to do something that has more to do, that functions more like an RPG. I like the idea that you start the game where your player is not really good, and you play against other players that are not really good. And it's like a climb, from a junior player to a professional level. But you don't get to the professional level. The game is about, learning to play and improve. And this is what I'm thinking right now. It's like, okay, let's have something that, if I want to improve my forehand, I need to practice that, and there are going to be like training section where I go there and I hit a certain amount of balls, and then my power or my spin or my accuracy increases on my forehand, and then when I go to the next tournament, so it's like a mix between an RPG and a sports game. That's at the moment, that's what I'm thinking, and it's obviously very exciting to think about it. Right, it's very different from very different from making like a racing game or a sailing game like I did before, where there was no idea what the game was. It was like, okay, it's a simulator. We're gonna try to do it as realistic as possible, and that's the end of the story. Like, you try to dig into the simulation as much as possible. When it comes to the graphics, you try to make it as photorealistic as possible. And that's the game. Right? In this case, it's the first time in 30 years that I try to make a game where I don't care about realistic graphics. I want to do something that looks cool without being realistic. I'm not a huge fan of tennis. I grew up with badminton. Yeah, my wife too. They play badminton in the Philippines. Where are you from? Are you somewhere in Asia? when you get far enough, you have been selected to represent Earth in the Grand Universe Tennis War. Could be. I mean, at the moment, you know, our tennis girls have horns. So, as I said before, like it could be, you know, who knows? Maybe it's gonna be like a mix between a gacha and a Gunner game, tennis game. Who knows? Ah, yeah, it's you. You're not sleeping. What time it is? Or it's morning. You just woke up, maybe. I think it's almost lunchtime for me. West Coast of Canada. We had a court near our house in a competitive neighborhood. Oh, I didn't know that they play badminton in Canada. I tried to play it once in a park and I was terrible at it because, you know, I think my brain is totally wired into pushing the ball fundamentally forward. And badminton, you have to literally hit up. I was terrible at it. Oh my God, 4 a.m., man. I also woke up early this morning. In fact, it's like 12 here, and I feel like it's 3 in the afternoon. I need to go to pick up my new racket. It was jumping too for me. Also different angle of the racket, definitely. Yeah, it's a nap sounds very, 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 very attractive at the moment, to be honest. I wish I could still play today. It's been 25 years ago. Yeah, I stopped. Well, yeah, it's never too late, and you really should do it. I think I played tennis until 17 years old. Then I think I played it. Then I didn't play it for many, many years. Probably 20 years, maybe more. Then I played it for some months when I was still in Italy. And then I stopped again for another 10 years. And then I started again a couple of years ago. And the regrets are huge. Like, you know, I keep thinking, oh man, if I started to play again 10 years ago, I would be so good now. But yeah. It seems in cool countries you play inside sports. Yeah, makes sense. Also in the Netherlands, although I don't know if you would consider Netherlands a cool country, I would say so. But a lot of outdoor tennis courts in the Netherlands, although they now converting to the, you know, to the synthetic grass. I think in England is probably the same. You know, the AstroTurf or something like, I don't know what it's called. Synthetic grass. It deals very well if you get a little bit of ice. The court doesn't require as much maintenance as clay. In South America, you may play soccer more, yeah. I've only played tennis once, but the experience of badminton helped a lot. Yeah, tennis is definitely like, the thing with tennis is that it's a very difficult sport. We were talking about paddle. I don't know if you have paddle in your place. Paddle is super popular right now both in Europe and South America, from what I understand. And it was my way back into tennis, because I went to play paddle with my wife a little bit. And I was like, all right, okay, I want to do the real thing. And the big advantage of paddle is that it's much, much easier. You can definitely show up at a paddle court with no tennis experience and have fun. You show up at the tennis court and you never play tennis, it's not going to be a fun experience for you or whoever is with you, because it's like you will spend more time going around picking up balls than hitting something. It's very, very difficult. And you will never be able to play a match because good luck serving, like, is a very difficult shot to learn. I did play a lot of table tennis doing my job. The spin on the server can be fun. Yeah, that's also a fun game. Very, very fun. My movements when I play table tennis are always too big. Same with paddle. Also with paddle, it's like paddle power is not really useful, like, because as soon you play with somebody that knows how to play, they just let the ball bounce on the wall, taking after the wall, and so your power does absolutely nothing. That's what I was missing in Panel. It's like, you know, that the adrenaline, the dopamine hit that you get in tennis when you hit a winner. It's like, yes. Right, guys, I think let me just quickly check if the thing that I was doing were let's do the thing with the colors, and then I think I'm done. What was it? Render UI or something like that. So here, instead of using the Jai auto thing, let's do if all this stuff. So case power. We write power. Right, and we set the color to red. Right, in case save, we write save and we put it green. Right, so those are the two choices that we have at the moment. Eventually there will be things like drop shot or whatever. We'll see. We have 4 buttons, potentially 6 buttons if we also count this. I also, at the moment, I'm not using the triggers. Also, it's tough because it's like, okay, should I design this 100% to be played with the pad, or should I keep the option for the keyboard? Right, so all this thing. Is there a switch keyboard keyword? No, this is how you do it. So this is basically the equivalent. So you do this equal, and then you open a bracket, and then you have this super weird case with the semicolon at the end, which is super weird. Took me ages to learn this. This is really weird. Because, yeah, it's like your brain, my brain thinks that when I write this, I'm done. That's the end of the thing, while it's actually following. So this is a weird decision. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. I have a dual sense. The adaptive trigger is a nice niche option. Yeah, you don't want to be, you know, honestly, my main target is this thing, right? It's something like a Steam Deck or something like that. So it's also the graphics needs to, you know. All right, so we should be able to see what I do, right? So I go for power here, okay? So the AI went safe. I go save, 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 and then I missed the ball. I was going for power. So save, 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 stay in. It is cool because I can understand what the AI is doing. Let me change camera 1 second. We said we like this one more. I should make this the default, actually. Hey! All right, seems to be working. That's cool. That, like, we saw that the AI was going for it. So now she's serving, and of course she's going power for the first serve, and she's going save for the second serve. Let's attack. %. Yeah. All right. Looks good. Let's commit and call it a morning. So what did we do? So here, okay, so we set ambient light in editor similar to game. Okay. Then what else? Then we did ball is now realistic size. What else? What else did we do? Okay, shot power feedback in UI. What else? That's it. And this one. Okay, fix AI not in position on the first point. And that's it. That was good. The most tricky, playing with the optics would be fun, especially if you can sync it with the hitable. Yeah, I have it already, actually. So it's basically vibrating. The more you miss hit, the more your timing is off, the more it's vibrating. That's the idea. So it's like, if you feel the vibration, you did something wrong. So it's already working. That's it works okay. It's a feedback. Most tricky balls are those that shoot directly at you because you need to move away. Yes. Yeah. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna close it for today. I might be online for European people in 5 hours from now, whatever it is. So maybe I'll see you guys later, or maybe tomorrow. Yeah. Cheers. Ciao, ciao.